Again, no intro today, folks. I'm really getting tired. I'm not gonna say anything, but let's start. This is gonna be a doozy.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that site too. Also, give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyhow, let's talk about Superman and this controversy surrounding the movie, making me feel pretty confident that this is a film that was not made for me. This article here from That Park Place lays out what James Gunn said about the film. The article says, with mere days to release, director and DC Studios co-head James Gunn has finally said the quiet part out loud. Yes, the new Superman movie is about politics. In a new interview with the Times of London, Gunn opened up about the themes at the heart of his DC Universe reboot, and he made it abundantly clear that this version of the Man of Steel won't shy away from commentary. Perfect. I love how these idiots act, as though this hasn't been tried before.
Good thing I've already made my first, or in this case, in my first channel, I make a gaming let's play about this type of thing, because I have a feeling that this kind of thing will happen, okay? I just didn't have any proof, because when you're making a gaming let's play just to offer a refuge for any comic book fans, you need to make sure you have a way to convince them. Yeah, you may see that video as I'm playing, and a little bit of talk and commentary, but at the end, what I'm doing is giving you, aka the comic book fans, DC fans, whatever it is, a refuge. A refuge for all of you to just witness and remember the good old DC comic days.
Many franchises have been ruined or at least tainted by political commentary and adherence to progressive social justice bullshit that the majority of viewers either don't give a shit about or outright despise. Star Wars, Terminator, Ghostbusters, the MCU, Star Trek, I could go on and on. This has been done to death, and people are sick of it.
And when it comes to Terminator, I believe Terminator Resistance can beat the recent, or in this case, the latest Terminator movies. Yes, it's very difficult for most people because it's first person and it felt like an RPG, but hey, at least that is a good Terminator game compared to the latest Terminator movie that we've seen that flopped. I believe that flopped. I don't know. I could be wrong on that one.
The article goes on. I mean, Superman is the story of America, Gunn said, though it should also be noted that Gunn and DC have taken extreme care to omit Superman's classic American Way motto from the film's promotion. Yeah, instead of truth, justice, and the American way, it's being reported that for this movie it's truth, justice, and the human way. These people have taken the most quintessential American comic book character and tried to universalize him, as if all humans share core American values, which is categorically incorrect.
And I don't know if any of you know this, Marvel, according to Marvel, I think DC is going to be the same. They say before making any movie, don't read the comics. No, generally, folks, they say if anyone, or in this case, anyone they hire, they have to make sure they don't read the comics, because if they find one applicant who reads the comic, or in this case the comic book, it's a red flag to them. And it's true, okay? Make that make sense.
The reason these idiots can't get Superman right after Christopher Reeve is because they hate what America is. But I digress. Reading on, he's an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country, but for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost, Gunn said. This statement has stoked the fears of many that Superman will serve as a cultural and political progressive parable, rather than a traditional action-driven, escapist superhero film, while Gunn frames the conversation between Clark and Lois from the trailer, in which they argue over Superman's actions overseas, to be one of compassion. It's unmistakably wrapped in the language of modern political narratives, particularly on the topic of moral standing. The decision to frame Clark Kent's journey as a metaphor for immigration isn't new, but the Times interview puts Superman squarely in the crosshairs of today's deeply divided political landscape. When asked about how audiences might react to the film's themes, Gunn didn't hold back. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness, he said, and obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness, but screw them.
Okay, sorry, that ad just came just in time. Okay, look, first off, the comment right here. It says, screw them? Seriously, James Gunn? Seriously, ooh, what the hell is wrong with you? Human kindness? I don't exactly remember looting or perhaps setting a car on fire counts as human kindness, James Gunn. Based on this, I think he's referring to what's happening in LA or something, I don't know. But here's the thing, if it's about human kindness, is it warranted for people to, I don't know, lit cars on fire or attack ICE agent? And if you don't know right now, let me tell you this. Rosie O'Donnell, she blamed Donald Trump for the Texas flood and say the Texas flood happened because of people voted for Trump and didn't vote for Kamala. No, genuinely, it's true, it happened. I'm not joking. I mean, seriously, why you use a tragedy for a political stunt? This is something I don't get. Seriously, people are dying and you use a natural disaster used for politics? And it doesn't happen first time, okay? Jennifer Lawrence did it too. Genuinely, folks, what kind of person even uses the tragedy as a political stunt?
Well, the dude is just being immature and asinine here. This idea that all you need is love and kindness is juvenile nonsense. A part of maturity is understanding that not everything and not everyone is worthy of your kindness and love. If someone or something threatens my family or my country or something like that, I will not hesitate to oppose it and help to destroy it. Superman himself, in my favorite comic book story featuring the character, fought off the creature Doomsday, beating him to death because he knew that the alternative was letting Doomsday wipe out all of Earth. Now, I find myself rooting against this movie. That being said, some outlets are predicting a pretty big weekend for the film. MovieWeb here, for example, suggests that the movie could make somewhere between $130 and $170 million domestically on the opening weekend. Others have reported that they could be looking at somewhere around $90 to $120 million. As the marketing machine cranks up, the projected numbers have risen, and I will say that I expect this new Superman film to clear $100 million on the opening weekend, but this has a chance, a very strong chance, at being a Pyrrhic victory. People are going to come to this movie simply because it says Superman in the title. But if the messaging sucks in this movie, the second weekend will suffer from poor word of mouth. This movie could very well end up being the DC version of The Last Jedi. That Star Wars movie was a huge box office hit, technically speaking, because it did sell like crazy at first, but it dropped off quickly, and it was essentially the catalyst for the end of the franchise as we know it.
Yeah, that's quite true. Listen, folks, I think we all know sometimes these activists, they are waiting for their chance to even destroy comic books like, I don't know, Marvel, DC, or even movies like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings for their political agenda. And I think after 2020, everything changes. Which is why, starting from now, I will decide to make my own gaming Let's Plays when it comes to either Marvel or DC or whatever it is I can find. Because you have to understand one thing with my gaming Let's Play. Gaming is a form of escapism, okay? That's the key word, escapism. Okay, I know it's relevant, but I had to tell you this. You see, here's the thing. How many of you have been either alienated or betrayed by favorite media you once loved as a kid or as a teenager, whatever it is, and you see something like this, you think, wait, this isn't the one thing I remember. It's not the same. Now think about it, folks. Look, for me, my main concern right now is Kingdom Hearts 4, okay? Yes, there's a lot of hype, which I'm hyping it too. It's not the game that I'm worried about, it's the company, Square Enix. According to Vera Dark, Square Enix is dropping, I think their investing or stock have dropped because of Western slops. You know, Forspoken, that Forspoken really sealed the deal. And yet, Square Enix, I think Forspoken really did cripple Square Enix. even though it wasn't severe, but it did cripple them to the point they have to release more than one platform. That's the reason why they're speeding up PC ports. And it's the same with other games who are now speeding up PC port because they knew the base game failed tremendously, and that's why they're speeding it up. Go day and date. But look, even if they did that, doesn't mean it can be, I don't know, viable or even financially viable, but that only depends on word of mouth. Again, on my first channel, the one I made, a gaming let's play about Justice League Heroes, I think it's about 2 episodes already. There's another episode before that. Most importantly, that gaming let's play is for people who either want to get hype or want to seek refuge. Anyone is welcome. Visit that channel, there'll be a link in the description. Find the video, enjoy the video. I'm certain some of you can get hype and some of you can forget about James Gunn's Superman. Anything is possible. Enjoy your time.
Maniac! After I get my money, you'll rue the day you spoke to me like that! I have freed you from your extra-dimensional prison. Unless you want to go back, destroy those men.
Launch command and control transfer initiated. Sending encrypted data packets. Please stand by.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. You can visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.